veins of working night turn.
Oh, yeah. So now we're recording. And what I was saying is that I did my seated center ahead of time because it is a little bit time consuming. You don't have to do one like this. Now this is actually a copper Decoflex tubing or Deco mesh, whatever you want to call it. I think I got it from Craft Outlet, and it was 30 yards, and I used all 30 yards for this. So, and I thought the copper color would look nice, and it kind of bends a little bit. I thought the copper color would look nice with the orange poly burlap that I'm going to be using. Now, if you look at the picture that's in the class listing in the events calendar, and by the way, this is the poly burlap daisy. I always try to make an announcement for people who aren't in class so we know what the heck we're doing here. All they did, and I decided I want to keep mine like this, but if you want yours to look like the one in the class listing in the events calendar, all you're going to do is after you do this, this step, take your scissors and just snip off the loops.
Wow.
So when you snip off the loops, you're going to end up with just a bunch of cut edges, and that's how she got that look. That's all she did. And when I say she, Trish DiStefano, and Cheryl, you know who she is, from Dean Michael Designs. This is actually her design, but she's got a video on YouTube, so it's not like it's a paid tutorial. I'm not stepping on anybody's toes. I actually asked her if I could do this in my class, and she said yes, so she was totally cool about it. So that's actually her design. She just made the seated center like this, and she just snipped off all the little loops, and it just left, it looks like just a bunch of cut edges, but that's all she did. But I kind of like mine like this, so I'm going to keep mine like this. Again, I posted the link from Julie's Wreath Boutique because she shows how to do this. You can use Decoflex tubing, you can use yarn, you can use the jute tubing, which is just isn't shiny. So, but the thing of it is that the way that we attach the petals, you can't put this on ahead of time. You have to put it on after. And you actually have to use another plastic grid in the middle. So if you want to do a center like this, it's attached to the plastic grid. Put it aside, and you have to attach another plastic grid to the middle before you start, because your second row of petals is attached to this inner bar. One side of your pipe cleaner goes around the bar, the other side is going to go through the plastic grid. So you have to have a plastic grid in there too. Let me just let my cat out of her room. Hold on one second. Yes, Claire, I know. Come on, Claire, go outside. Okay, come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. Sorry, you guys. My son decided to go to sleep. And I'm like, I have my class. Can you watch the animals, please? I really can't, I can't do this by myself. I can't control my animals and do my class. Okay, so let me get my plastic grid because we're going to do this together. I have a bunch of it over here. I don't know if this one's going to be big enough. I've cut this one out a couple of times. Actually, I think I get another one out of here. I can get one more circle out of that. If you've never, and this is actually a 12-inch form from Dollar General. Normally, you want to use the 10-inch. The 10-inch you really can't find in the stores. You normally have to order them online. 12-inch will work. If you want to use a 14, hi Dawn, if you want to use a 14-inch, there she is, from Dollar Tree, you can. You're just going to need more poly burlap. Now, I know I had you cut 2 rolls, but you're probably not going to need 2 rolls, but it's better to have too much than not enough. If you have too much, you'll just have more for another flower. So go ahead and just take your plastic grid and just place it. Whoop. Dawn, did you just wake up? I'm not saying that because of how you look. It's just because I know that that's normally what you do this time of the day. Do you have to work tonight?
Yes, I do.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Do you always work nights? Like you work all night?
Yeah.
You and Pam can relate then. Pammy's a nurse. She's an ER nurse, and she puts in all sorts of crazy hours.
I finished up this morning and I'm going to go in tomorrow at noon.
Oh, Pam, guess what my daughter's making? My daughter in Colorado, because she texted me and she's like, Mom, I can't find pepperoncini peppers. So guess what
No, sir.
But you know what she was doing? Come on, she's
Yeah.
only 24, 20. Hold on, let me fix my. What do you mean it can't detect a camera? Don't do this to me again. Here we go. She texts me from the grocery store. Now she's in Colorado. Mom, I can't find pepperoncini peppers. I'm like, honey, look by the pickles. Look by in the Italian aisle. Oh, she was looking in the produce, like with the fresh.
Ah,
Like, no, honey,
too funny.
they're brined. They're like a pickle. She's like, oh, well, I don't know. And then I don't know what store she was shopping at, but she said that the chuck roast that she found wasn't even 3 pounds, and it was like $16. Isn't that expensive for a chuck roast?
Holy, yeah.
Chuck roast is like the cheapest cut of meat there is.
Yeah.
How much
And
is
That's
it what we
pretty
just bought
sad.
today?
So I don't know what the grocery stores are like in Colorado, but anyway, I'm using colored zip ties because that's all I have left, but it's really not going to matter. So just after you cut your plastic canvas, just go ahead and attach it to your wreath form. Just zip tie it in a couple of spots. Usually I just go where the crossbars are here and attach them there.
And I got that kit today too.
The cookies for Santa or the other one?
No, the Harvest Blessing.
Yeah, did you see my little video about what's happening, what's going to happen with that?
I did.
Okay, so if you took it out of the packaging already, don't worry about it. But what they're requesting, and honestly, I feel like just telling you guys, screw them. Just keep the sign. It's their mistake. In my opinion, they should let you keep the sign because it was their mistake. But they're requesting that if you got the sign and have not opened it yet, please don't open it. Hold on a second, I just screwed this up. They said, please don't open the sign because it's packaged in a way where it won't get damaged. And what's going to happen is when they send you the new sign, you're just going to go ahead and use the packaging that the new sign comes in. And they said, be careful not to rip it, blah, 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 because you're going to put the wrong sign in there. And there's a postage paid label. I'm just really annoyed. I'm just super annoyed. How can that dumb mistake be made? I'm not going to order from them anymore, you guys.
Well, it's
This is like
how that is.
last night at like 11 o'clock, one of my members messaged me and she showed me a picture and she goes, this is what this bright sign is. And I'm like, no. And it was ugly. I don't like that Harvest Blessing sign. So I messaged the vendor right away and she says, oh, she goes, no, you know what? She goes, that was probably the only one. Just go ahead and tell her that we'll, send her a new sign. She didn't say anything about sending the other one back, probably because she figured that was the only one. So like 2 o'clock in the morning, I wake up and grab my phone just because I always like to see what's going on in the group. And yeah, at 2 o'clock in the morning when I get up to go to the bathroom, that's what I do. I look at my group. And she says, well, she goes, I hate to tell you this, but everybody got the wrong sign. And that's like 15 people. I was so mad. And initially she's like, well, she goes, I'll email everybody a postage paid label and they can send it back and then we'll send them a new one. I'm like, oh no. Because first of all, not everybody has a printer and that's just way too much work for your mistake. So I said, tell you what, you send them the new sign, you put the postage paid label in with the new sign. That's it. And you're not going to have to wait for them to send the wrong sign back before you send them the new one. I was really mad. I stuck up for you guys.
That's bad business.
What's that? It is.
That's
And it took
That's a horrible business.
it took so long for them to send the signs in the first place. This one's too tight on this side. Hold on. See, when you're putting your zip ties on, you want to make sure that it's even. And I'm here gabbing away. You want to make sure that it's like there's not too much space on one side, and so.
Is it too loud for you?
What's that? So I apologize. And just so you guys know, the witch kit is being shipped. If anybody ordered the witch kit, that's being shipped by Linda from Honeypot Junction, and she's really, really good. And that's taken a little while because she's been sick. So I apologize for that. She's been in and out of the hospital. She doesn't make mistakes like that. And the other kits are being shipped by me, and you know how crazy anal I am. So you're going to get what I'm promising you that you're getting. So. And who here ordered that kit, the Happy Harvest? You ordered it, right, Pam?
I did. I have to actually see if I can see what the sign looks like inside. I must say that they packaged it really well.
The sign? Oh, the
Yeah.
sign for the cutest apple?
Yeah.
Because what I wanted to show you guys, this is why I decided to order the other ribbon, because this polka dot ribbon in the picture, the dots look a lot darker. But if you can see, I guess they still look kind of dark. But I was kind of looking at it against the other ribbon, and I thought this one would go better. Because if you look at the sign, let me grab my sign over here. The sign's got the big dots. So I thought, well, that'll work, you know. I mean, this could work too, but I'm just going to send you guys both. And then you're going to get this, some of this, the pumpkin, which is really super cute.
That is super cute.
And then you're going to get the truck, of course. Now, these are all like 50-yard rolls, so I'm going to have to cut the sections off for you guys. And there's the truck.
That's
Cute.
cute.
And then this one I actually picked out myself. They were out of the solid copper, but this is like an ombre, which is really pretty too. So you have no idea how much stuff I have in my house right now as far as supplies.
Well, I've done that, but it hasn't unmuted anything.
And then if you order the gingerbread kit, I got this today.
She's saying,
Oh, she's on?
yeah,
How cute that is.
I thought she did because I
Little
couldn't find
gingerbread?
it. I finally found it.
Ribbon. Did you order that, Dawn, or no? The gingerbread kit?
No.
Anyway, let's get back to business here. We're going to be here all night.
Yeah.
Lisa's here. Let's see who else. Hi, Cheryl. Joanne's here. Jackie's here.
But I can't get a, I don't understand why I don't
It's
have
Cheryl Quinn and Cheryl Perez. I'm going to mute you guys, so unmute yourselves if you have a question, okay? Whoops. I didn't mean to hit that button. Sorry for the back of my hair here. Okay. So we have our things zip tied on here. So let's start doing our petals. Move this out of the way. I'm using an orange poly burlap. You're going to want to cut your pipe cleaners in half because you don't need full pipe cleaners. Probably should have told you that before. I hope I have enough orange. I've been using a lot of orange pipe cleaners lately. I think I will. Okay. Move my center out of the way. This is probably so much easier than you expect it to be. Now, I cut my poly burlap with the wood burning tool. It does work. But if you don't have a wood burning tool and you haven't cut your poly burlap yet, I strongly suggest getting your scissors and making sure that you cut in between the lines, because this stuff does fray. Even though it's not mesh, it does fray. Okay, so lay your 10 by 10 square down. I'm going to fold it into a triangle. And this is why it's important that you make sure that they're exactly 10 by 10. Take your time, because if you don't have an exact 10 by 10 piece, they're not going to line up. Okay, so here you have your triangle. Now you're going to start probably about here, so probably like an inch up the piece, okay? And you're going to take your fingers and you're going to start scrunching. Just like that. So you have like a little bit on either side. It doesn't have to be totally even. See, it kind of looks like a little goldfish. Looks like a little goldfish, but you have these little pieces sticking out here. So after you do your pinching, you have your piece pinched together like that. You're going to take these pieces here and you're going to fold them around to the back. As best you can here, just kind of tuck them in. You're going to end up with something like that. And just kind of look at it a little bit and make sure that your pieces are lined up at the top. But that's your petal. And we're going to do it again. But these little wings that you had out on the side, after we scrunched it, you're going to want to tuck those around to the back. It doesn't matter if it's sticking out, because we're going to wrap a pipe cleaner around that.
Christina, can I see the back of that petal? Can you
Yeah.
flip it over?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. I remember seeing her flip it over and then tuck it in. So I was just wondering if it looked the same on both sides, and it didn't matter.
Nah, it doesn't matter, because you're going to wrap a pipe cleaner around it anyway. That's going to be in the back. So make sure you have enough there, like maybe, you know, ½ inch or so. When you wrap your pipe cleaner, it catches it all. Make sure that it's even. Pull your pipe cleaner around so it's even. Just twist it. Just make sure that you're catching everything. If you have a couple pieces sticking out, just kind of, use my scissors. If you have like a little piece sticking out, just kind of cut it. You know, it's not going to really matter. That's going to be, that's how it's going to look. You have your half a pipe cleaner, that's the back, and that's the front. And like I said, just make sure that your edges are, you're going to have maybe a little bit of you have a fray, a piece coming off, then just pull it off, but try to line up your edges so they're together like that. And that's it. That's your petal. Now, the first row is going to be on this second bar here, okay? Take your petal. I like to just start by the crossbar, and you're probably going to put 4 petals per section, okay? So take your pipe cleaners and put them around that second bar. Can you see that? So around the second bar. Give it a twist, but we're not going to be done there because we want to stabilize it. Give it one twist, okay? Now push it over so it's close to the crossbar. You're going to take one of your pipe cleaners and you're going to wrap it around the top bar. So just go right up. Hold on so I can show you. Go right up and underneath the top bar and just kind of wrap it around. So it holds it, okay? And you're going to take the other pipe cleaner and go around and wrap it around That's why you gotta make sure it's even on both sides, because then you're gonna go down with the other side and go down to the next bar and wrap it around. I didn't make that one long enough, so I'm gonna have to go around the crossbar. So we'll show you again with the next one. But all that does is just stabilize it so it doesn't move around, okay? So let's do that again. All right, so take your 10 by 10 piece, make your triangle. Again, that's why it's important, like I said, that your pieces be exactly or pretty close to exactly 10 by 10, so the fold matches. If it's not exactly 10 by 10, you might have a little bit of overlap. I kind of have a little bit here, but that's okay. So I'm actually, don't try to make this piece too big, because then you're going to have more that you have to fold around to the back. So maybe go up like a little bit less than an inch, and then start pinching to make your petal. Okay. Make sure you fix your petal before. You have your little wings. My battery's running low. Here I am chatting away, and we're gonna lose battery. Hold on a second here. Why do I always forget that? After how many classes, over like 100 classes, you would think I would remember to plug my charger in. There we go. All right. So then just take, so this one's not lined up right, it's crooked, so I gotta do it again. That's why you gotta make sure that your ends are totally lined up here, so you have your petal. Doesn't really matter so much if they're lined up down here, but you want this end here, the top, to be perfectly lined up. And then you can start pinching. You have to adjust it a little bit. There. And you have your little wings sticking out. You just have to tuck those around to the back. Just tuck them in. The back, it doesn't matter obviously so much what it looks like, but you want the front. Don't worry so much about the bottom, that's going to be covered. But from this point up, you want it to look neat. If you find that you have a piece of burlap that isn't lining up, just toss it aside and get another one, because it's important that your petal be nice and neat at the top like that. You don't want it to be crooked. This one's kind of giving me a hard time, but let me try attaching it and see what happens. So go up maybe about that much with your pipe cleaner. Make sure it's even on both sides. In the back, you have an even amount of pipe cleaner on both sides. So when you go to twist it around your bars. Now these are going to overlap a little bit. So again, go right next to this one, again on the second bar here. See, mine's not lining up. This petal's not lining up for me. No, it is. Here we go. So it's going to overlap it a little bit. So twist it around that second bar. Actually, I'm going to take this. One of them is going to go around the bar, the second bar. Okay, so take that pipe cleaner and twist it around the second bar just to anchor it. I'm actually going to take this one. I'm not going to go up to the upper bar. I'm going to go right around the bar that I attached it to, the second bar, and I'm going to anchor it that way because I have more pipe cleaner to work with when I do that. Does that make sense? So take one of the pipe cleaners and wrap it around the second bar the other one wrap it around the bar underneath. And again, that just anchors it. It's going to slide a little bit, but it's going to keep them together. If you find that your petals are kind of coming apart, you could even put a little dab of hot glue on there to keep them together. Meaning coming apart, you want them to be really lined up as good as you can at the tip there. So now we have two. We're probably going to put, I have two so far, we're probably going to be able to put 4 per section. Again, if you mess up on one of your pieces of burlap, just grab another one. You're going to have enough. Again, make sure that end is really lined up perfectly at the tip. Go up maybe that much, like an inch, and then you're going to start scrunching. Curve your petal in a little bit. Is this making sense to you guys? Is this, and then just kind of push the little, tuck in your little wings in the back. It's very important, like I said, that your front looks nice, not so much the back. You want your front to look nice. Yeah, I know, Cheryl. Trish makes it, her petals are like so perfect. I love watching her videos. She's got a very soothing voice too.
Yeah, she's a pretty good teacher. She's very thorough.
She is. It was so cool in here. It seems like the minute I start my class, it starts getting hot in here. Oh, that always happens. All right, go right next to it again with our third one. And that's really all there is to it. Give it one twist around that second bar. And then you're going to go ahead. And again, I take one and I'm going to wrap it around the second bar just to anchor it. And the other one I'm going to wrap around the bar underneath.
Coming home. This helicopter gets shot down by a Taliban. Eddie has heart set on having a street named after our son in our neighborhood. The board approached him.
Like I said, it's okay if they overlap a little bit. You kind of want them to overlap.
I encouraged to get anything. Since Matt died, I thought I would give him something to look for. It's been the crap. We both have our only child. No idea.
That's pretty much it. How you guys doing? Dawn, are you making yours? I know you cut all your poly burlap, I think, or are you just watching?
No, but I'm making it. I got 3 done.
You do, just like me. Are you using the orange?
I am using an off-white.
Oh, nice. You know what's really pretty too in the poly burlap is the cranberry.
I know. I ordered some. It's here.
Did you?
I did. I'm a purple girl.
So that's pretty much it, you guys. Just keep, you're going to find as you keep going along that it's going to get a little bit easier for you. The folding and the pinching. You know, if your petals don't evenly line up at the top, you know, it's not the end of the world. Everybody aims for perfection, but you can drive yourself crazy aiming for perfection. Just make sure that it's twisted really tight. And that you have even amounts of pipe cleaner on both sides. And then you can kind of shape your petal a little bit
That is looking so good, Christina. I can't wait to see it finished.
Oh, thank you, Cheryl.
You're doing a great job explaining. You're a really awesome teacher, dude.
Aw, I love you. Yeah, and you can send me more ribbon from Sam's Club too, so. I haven't even used everything you sent me last year. Are you kidding?
Yeah, I've been watching for it in my local Sam's. Nothing out yet.
I have so much ribbon. I went and I got my bag of ribbon from my sister's because I had it stored in her attic because I just had no room here. And I have this huge garbage bag full of just Christmas ribbon, like huge. It's insane. So it doesn't have to be tight what you're anchoring around the other ones, just so you can stabilize your petal a little bit. But when you start adding them, they're going to hold each other together. Just make sure that it's kind of curved. And that's it. That's one section there. You have some frays coming out. You can spray your poly burlap with a craft adhesive spray, just like you do with your mesh, just the edges. But once you get them on there, they're not going to go anywhere. So that's one section. We have 4. The 4 is going to be good. You're not going to want to put more than 4. Phew, is it warm in here? I was freezing before. Pammy, what color are you using?
It's a fall orange.
Nice. Like this one, or is it darker?
It might be just a little bit darker.
Where'd you get it?
But I can
Craft outlet. Maybe it's the same.
Oh. So this one's not lined up. And that one's got a fray, so I'm throwing that one. I don't want to use that one. Really, 4 or 5 scrunches is all you need to make your petal. Oh, I'm blurry. Hold on, I gotta finish this petal and then I can fix my camera. Make sure you got the shape that you want before you add your pipe cleaner. And you saw what I just did. I wasn't happy with that petal. I think it might not have been exactly 10 by 10, so it wasn't lining up for me. So if you have to throw a couple of pieces of poly burlap to the side, it's not the end of the world. You're gonna get a nice looking petal. I have to turn my AC. I have no idea why all of a sudden it's like 10,000 degrees in here. I don't know what happened. There was a nice breeze, and now it's gone. I'm falling over on my couch here. Oh, we just go to the next section. Do the same thing. Just give it one good twist around that bar initially, so you have enough to wrap around the one below it and the one. So again, one pipe cleaner, I'm just wrapping around the second bar right where I attached it. And the other one I'm going underneath to the bar below it just to anchor it. And as you're laying them down, put the next one that you put on over the previous one. You're always going to want to go over. See how these are all going over the one before it? That's how they're going to be laying. Phew! I made really well, don't tell me you're unable to find the camera. I don't want to see that. Hold on one second, you guys. I'll be right back. You guys. Four scrunches is good. 4 good sized scrunches. Who else is here? Peggy's here. Trying to see who else has joined us.
Hey, Christina, it's Peggy.
Hi, Peggy.
I finally got my microphone to work.
Yay! Now, what I was going to tell you guys too about the centers, and I think I may have posted the link. You can actually buy the pre-made flower centers from Trendy Tree. They kind of look like grass. They have a brown, they have a green. I think the green is sold out, but they have a brown, they have a yellow. You could also just get half a styrofoam ball, paint it, use that as your center. You can do the seated center like I did. I did post a tutorial on that from Julie's Wreath Boutique because she does a really nice one. So there's lots of options for your center. You could use burlap. I know that when we did the Unique in the Creek sunflower, I started to do a burlap ruffle center, and all you basically do for that is you take your roll of burlap, cut that into 9-inch pieces, and you use a zip tie. You ruffle up your burlap, you zip tie it, and you can just put it right through. I'll show you in a second. You can put it right through your plastic canvas, and you can make a burlap ruffle center too. Hold on a second, I'll show you. Because I did 2 different centers for my Unique in the Creek sunflower. I don't know if I can get to it. It's over in the corner, but I want to show you. I have my camera set up on my laptop. This is what I started to do for one of the centers for the sunflower. It's just the burgundy colored burlap. And again, I cut it into
I love that.
9-inch pieces. And that was going to be my center. And then when you get more together, you can just sort of tie it together with a string to sort of keep it together. Do you know what I mean?
How wide was the burlap? It was 9 inches
The
long and how
rolls.
wide?
It's the 6-inch rolls, or from or maybe is it? I think it was from. I think at Joann's, I think they're 6 inches wide, but I think Hobby Lobby they're 5.5. I don't remember.
That's beautiful. I love that.
That's all, and so you can do that too. But again, if you're going to be using it in your center, you may have to use like a string or something to tie it together. But then you might not. Once you get your all your petals on, so that's another idea for a center. Julie's Wreath Boutique has a video on YouTube of all different flower centers. You could do the braided burlap center. There's another one. I haven't done that one before. I'm actually going on one side of my petal with one of my pipe cleaners, and then I'm going on the other side to wrap the bottom one. So they're kind of like on each side, if that makes sense, to anchor it. This is so pretty for fall. I'm not going to be crazy if my petals don't line up on the top. Some of them are trying not to line up, but you know what? And I have some frays coming out, and you can kind of cut those off. You really can't do anything about that. And I cut it with the wood burning tool. Like I said, if you want to spray it with craft adhesive spray when you're done. I remember when we did, if you guys remember when I did the white burlap flower, I don't remember when it was, if it was in the spring. I actually took my squares of white burlap and I rolled the edges with Mod Podge. I actually rolled very lightly. I did a light coating of Mod Podge on the end of my burlap squares, and it kept them from fraying. So that's something you can probably do with this too, because Mod Podge does dry clear. So just lay out some newspaper or something. Just take either a paintbrush, or you can get the little foam rollers and just roll the cut edges, not the seamed ones, because those aren't going to fray. You may get a couple of pieces coming off here and there, but you know, for the most part, they're not going to fray. The cut edges, just roll them, and it dries fast. I remember I had them all laid out on my floor on newspaper, and that cuts the fraying too. But once you get them on and you don't touch them, I think you're going to be okay. It looks like a goldfish, doesn't it? A goldfish cracker.
Christina, how many are you putting in each section?
4.
Thank you.
Do you have the 12-inch frame, or do you have a 14-inch frame?
Well, actually, I'm just watching right now, but I have the Dollar Tree forms, and I don't have poly burlap yet because I forgot to order it, so I'm going to try to use a different material.
Okay. You may need to put more than 4 because this is a 12-inch form. Just kind of eyeball it and see.
Okay.
See how it looks. But this is 12-inch, and I'm doing 4, and that, you know, you don't want them to be too crowded, but you want them to be overlapping a little bit. So what are you going to use? You're going to use mesh, or?
No, actually, I bought a ton of shelf liner, and I just made one petal and zip tied it, so I'm going to try that.
It might be a little floppy because it's not as stiff as poly burlap. What you can try, you could actually just roll a little bit of Mod Podge over each square, and that could stiffen it enough. Because this cut, you want this to kind of be stiff. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
And so I would try that. If you find that you're putting a couple of pieces on, because you see how this is like very stiff?
Yes.
And it's sticking up. you might find that the shelf liner is going to flop over on you.
Okay.
So if it does, like I said, Mod Podge is wonderful for stiffening stuff. So you can just get a roller and just lightly roll over it with the Mod Podge and let it dry, and that could stiffen it enough for you to make it work. I think that would be pretty, actually.
Well, I have a spray stiffener stuff that I bought.
Those don't work for me. I tried the fabric stiffeners. They don't, you know, unless yours is different. I tried it and it didn't do a thing. I tried it with ribbon. It didn't work for me.
Well, it worked on the ribbon. It was just very, very messy.
Oh, okay. I know with Mod Podge, it's a little too stiff. When I sprayed it on my ribbon, it was like, it got too stiff. I couldn't even shape it. Why couldn't all of my petals come out like that? Look how perfect that is.
It is perfect.
You know? Just make sure it's, this first twist here, make sure it's tight enough. You're probably going to have poly burlap left over. I'm sure you will. I wish they sold this in the craft stores. I don't know why they don't. So you guys, I tried my first Monster drink today, and I usually don't like to drink the energy drinks because I'm kind of afraid, you know, of all the caffeine. But boy, did that give me a lot of energy today. I actually had heard that the regular Monster drinks are horrendous tasting. They taste like cough syrup. So I got the coffee flavored one, and it was really, really good. Have you guys ever tried those before?
No, I don't drink those.
Yeah, I don't
drink
usually
enough
either.
coffee.
What's that?
I'd rather have my coffee.
Yeah, sometimes coffee doesn't cut it for me. It's not enough. And it really gave me quite a bit of energy, I have to tell you. So actually, what's that?
Did you look at the ingredients?
I can't hear you.
Did you look at the ingredients?
No, I didn't. I know. Let's not go there.
Okay, I jumped onto my son. My youngest son drinks some of his.
I got to turn the volume up, Debbie. I can't hear you. Hold on one second. I'm sorry about my head. I'm glad my hair doesn't need to be colored. What's that, Deb?
I said my youngest son and his wife drink them all the time. And
Yeah, that was the first one I ever had.
Yeah, she's a nurse too, and I jump on them all the time.
It didn't make me jittery or anything. It just, you know, it did give me some energy. I won't lie.
Those are very bad for you.
Yeah, I know.
Used to drink them all the time, and I gave it up about 3 years ago, and I just have my Ninja every day now.
What's that?
It's a drink. It has 30 different benefits. It's from Young Living.
Okay.
Of 1 ounce to 1.5 ounces of that every single day.
Can you send me the link to where you buy those?
I will.
Because I'd rather have something natural, honestly. I really wasn't too keen on trying this, and my daughter even yelled at me and said, "Mom, you shouldn't be drinking that."
I yelled at my kids for doing the same thing. They'd take like 2 or 3 of those things a day just to get to work.
Oh, no.
You know, I
Yeah.
spent a lot of time lately talking to people about the old community home. People with very strong opinions about how it should be restored. The way I see it,
Just try not to pull on it too much, because if you pull on the edges too much, you're going to get some fraying. So, just like with mesh, the less you handle it. And again, you know, if I had had the time, I probably would have rolled some Mod Podge on my edges, because that really does work. That white burlap flower I made did not fray at all.
you know what's missing. Don't you dare say chocolate velvet. No.
Again, don't worry about your edges on the bottom, because if they're coming apart a little bit, it doesn't really matter, because they're going to be hidden. Like these here, these don't really need to be perfectly neat. Again, the next petal is going to be overlapping the one before it. Look how pretty that looks. How many do I have on here? I'm on my third section already here. Let's hope we can finish this during class.
What are you doing? Stop. Nate.
Okay, I know.
Pammy, did you see the witch ribbon that I posted the picture of?
The one with the little, looks like a little kid witch.
From Joann's?
Yeah, that's really cute.
I'm going to pick it up tomorrow. I'm so excited. I can't wait. Because for some reason, it wouldn't let me order it online. I was going to order it online and have it delivered to the store, but it wouldn't let me. So I called the store, and they had it. So she's holding it for me. And I guess there's some really good sales at Joann's this weekend, Labor Day sales. There's, I think, 60% off all Halloween. And fall is 40% off, plus there's the 20% off coupon off of your entire purchase. So I know, I'm sorry, you guys. Sorry to do that to you.
It wouldn't let me order it online either.
Yeah, I don't know why.
And our Joann's closed.
Yeah, how close, do you have a Joann's close to you? I know your Hobby Lobby is far, your Michael's is far, Debbie, isn't it?
Yeah, but we did have a Joann's pretty close, but it closed.
Uh-huh.
It closed
Oh my.
The only thing I don't have close to me, I have a Joann's, I have a Hobby Lobby, I have a Michael's. I don't have an AC Moore close to me. It's like an hour away.
You know, I was looking. That was way too easy.
And I miss AC Moore. We used to have one right in my town, and they closed. I was so sad. And I can vividly remember, because when my kids were little, I used to make just regular Christmas wreaths. I used to get the balsam wreath forms, the plain pine bases, and I used to decorate them. And I remember one day walking into AC Moore and looking at all the pretty Christmas wreaths and thinking, you know, I can make that. And I remember I grabbed one of the wreaths that was already pre-made, and I just walked around the store with it, and I grabbed exactly everything that was in the wreath. That's how it all started. I used to make tons of Christmas wreaths when my kids were little. And I used to bring them to work and sell them at work, and then I kind of let it go. And then, you know, the rest is history. I think it was last April of 2017, I joined a group called Wild About Wreaths, and I discovered this crazy thing called Deco Mesh, and I had no idea what it was. And then the rest is history. My father used to make the real balsam wreaths out of fresh pine. And I can remember our house always smelling so nice at Christmas time. My mother wanted to kill them because there was pine needles all over the house, but. And I don't know if you guys have ever heard of something called Princess Pine. You ever heard of that before? They grow out of the ground, and they're very frilly. It's like a little frilly plant, and he used to make Christmas wreaths out of those too. Remember, we used to go in the woods and help him pick the Princess Pine.
Christina, are you going to do a class video on the pine?
On the what?
Using the pine, the fresh pine?
You know what I really want to do? I want to do a video using a pine base, attaching mesh to it. Those are really, really pretty. In fact,
I have somebody that wants me to make one, and I have no idea where to start.
He wants you to make what? A customer?
Pine wreath with mesh on it.
Super easy. In fact, Jamie, I know you probably didn't order the kit, but the witch kit, the Be Witchy in a Minute, the witch with the witch hat and legs, you know, you're more than welcome to join that class. If anybody didn't buy a kit, you can still join the class. That kit actually came or comes with a black pine base. It's black. So we're going to be attaching the mesh to that type of a base in that class. So, you know, I would watch that one.
Okay.
But then we're going to be doing a Christmas one too, don't worry.
All right.
All you basically do is you just, the pieces of the pine base are your pipe cleaners. See what I mean? They hold on to your mesh for you. So no need for pipe cleaners. Yeah, I think I'm going to spray mine when I'm done. I'm going to spray my edges. How many do I have on here? Okay, I got 4 here. So we're halfway done with the, what time is it? I'm hoping we finish, you guys. We took a little bit of time doing the center, so. I think I'm going to wrap this one more on the top one because I have long enough. Long enough for me here. I can wrap it on the top one. It really doesn't matter which bars you wrap your pipe cleaners around. Just, again, your goal is to just anchor your pedal. That's all. You want to wrap it around the top one and then wrap the other one around the one underneath. That's so pretty. I'm dragging my son to the craft store with me tomorrow, so we'll see how that goes. Because my daughter took off for the weekend, which she seems to do a lot lately. She doesn't like to be home on the weekend, and I don't blame her. I'm so excited. I found out that my daughter in Colorado is coming home for almost 2 weeks at Christmas time. I'm so excited. She said the flight was really expensive, though. I don't think that's right how the airlines jack up the prices at the holidays. That doesn't seem right to me. There should be some sort of regulation in place that they not be able to do that. She's going to be paying almost $200 more for her ticket to come home at Christmas than she did for Mother's Day. That's just not right, in my opinion. And if you're not happy with the way your pedal is lining up, just do it over again. Do you know what I mean? Even if you have a little bit less underneath, that's good too, because then you'll have a nice clean pedal. So I'll show you what I mean by that in a minute. You don't like the piece underneath sticking up around the top one. Now I'm going to go up around the top bar with my first pipe cleaner. I'm going to go around the bottom one. I'll show you what I mean by that. So you're making your pedal. If you even want to overlap the top fold a little bit. So instead of going and trying to make it exactly even, because sometimes when you start to fold it, they get misaligned, and that's making me crazy. So even if you want to go over it, so go over it a tiny bit, okay? That way, it's going to look cleaner because there's going to be a little less showing in the back, but your front is going to be, you know, your front's always going to be cleaner, if that makes sense. So even if you have it a little bit shorter in the back, You know what I mean? That's better than having it, lined up and then you've got it crooked like that. That's going to drive you crazy. It's going to drive me crazy. So, but this way, if you have a little bit less, does that make sense to you guys? So it's a little bit shorter in the back here.
Yeah, it does.
And then you know that your front's always going to be perfect.
Would it be any more insane if I told you that my heart really lies in research?
I know a couple of mine seem to be, not perfectly lined up. I'm not going to let it drive me crazy. But I'm going to start folding mine this way. What's that?
I'm just agitated at the fray.
Yeah,
So
I know.
now I see why you like your wood burner.
Yeah. Well, even with the wood burner, I'm getting some fraying. But the thing of it is, if you don't have the wood burning tool or you don't use the wood burning tool, you still have to cut it in between the lines to try to minimize the fraying. Or again, get some Mod Podge and roll the edges with the Mod Podge, and that's going to seal it. Or even, I would do that over spraying it because, in my opinion, the spray is sticky. Mod Podge dries nice and clean. It doesn't leave a residue. I'm still getting some fraying. What's that?
Which spray adhesive do you use? Because I use the spray adhesive, don't remember the brand, I'll go look in a minute, on a burlap flower that I did, and I sprayed it like 2 weeks ago, and it is still very sticky.
I use Elmer's craft adhesive. I'll show you in 1 second. I just want to wrap this one again because it's coming apart in the bottom here. You know what? I'm throwing that piece because it was annoying me. This. The only thing is it's kind of smelly. Elmer's Craft Bond.
All right, I saw that, and then I picked up this Loctite spray adhesive. It's very smelly, too. But it's not drying.
You know what's really smelly is E6000. I'm never going to use that ever again. Not the spray.
Bad.
I don't know if the spray is, but the kind in the what have you, in the tube. It's absolutely awful.
I don't think it smells bad. I use that all the time.
In the tube?
Yes.
Oh my God, it's terrible.
Oh, I don't think it smells bad at all.
Really? I must have a really
sensitive.
Not the spray. I've never used the spray. I've used the kind in the tube. Oh, it's terrible. I must be really sensitive.
Gorilla Glue and E6000. I don't think it's bad at all.
Wow. I don't know. All right, so again, I just did that one over because the other piece was annoying me, which I'm allowed to do. Yours is spraying a lot, Pammy?
Yeah, it is. And maybe it's because I cut it with a rotary cutter.
Oh,
instead
definitely.
of a pair of scissors.
I should have told you. I'm so sorry, honey. Yeah,
That's
it's
okay.
gonna fray. You know what? I never use my rotary cutter ever.
Well, I use it with the Deco Mesh and I don't have much of a trouble, but now I can see that I'm going to have to treat this like I do burlap.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're really upset by the fraying, just stop for now and get the rest of your pieces and either spray it with the craft adhesive or roll Mod Podge on the edges.
Yeah, because it's aggravating me.
You know, I forget, you guys. I always try to put tips and stuff for classes to help you guys, and sometimes I just forget because I get so busy. I should have told you to use the scissors and cut between the lines or use the wood burning tool.
Well, at
I'm
least
so
I
sorry.
only have I only have two pedals on here because I was behind because I was doing my center. So I'm going to stop because this is aggravating me.
Just go ahead and get some Mod Podge.
Yeah, I'll
And
get some Mod Podge and cut off all these little dead
yeah,
pieces.
yeah.
And then just do it.
Get a newspaper. Get the little roller from Walmart, the little foam roller. It's by the paintbrushes.
Yeah.
And just do a thin layer right over the cut edges. And it does not take long to dry. and you will not have any frays, trust me.
Yeah, this is aggravating me.
Oh, I'm
So
sorry, Pammy. You were
That's
looking
no, no,
forward
no,
to
no, no,
it.
no. That's okay. It's not your fault.
It is my fault because I should have told you guys to use scissors and cut between the lines. It's totally my fault. I'm a failure.
No, I
failed
should
you.
have thought about it because this is the first time I used poly burlap. The last time we did it, it was like a pull through, and it didn't fray.
No, we didn't. We never used poly burlap for a pull through.
We did something. We did something
we
like
did the
last
tree.
Christmas time.
We did the
No,
tree.
we did something. We did something last Christmas.
We did?
Because I had a white something or other that I ordered from Walmart.
I'm thinking.
Yeah.
You know what it was? It was the white wreath with the shovel.
Yeah.
That one, the bubble.
Yeah.
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 You got the faux burlap, right?
Yes, I got that. I ordered it from Walmart, but this I should have realized whenever it arrived that it looks a whole lot like regular burlap.
Yeah.
So that's it. I'm done for the no.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
You can save it. You can, I promise you.
So oh, excuse me. It'll get saved. I just have to I'll have to Mod Podge it. That's all.
I'm still getting some fraying. And I'm trying not to pull on my edges too much here. Like I said, if I had time, I would have Mod Podged it. I would have Mod Podged my edges. Whew. Pammy.
It happens.
But you're upset now. I don't want you to be upset.
Oh, that's okay. I got a box today from Craft Outlet. I think it's my mesh for Jack.
For what?
For our Pumpkin King.
Look at that perfect petal.
Look at that, how gorgeous.
And I just made it a little bit smaller in the back, just so I didn't have any.
Hydration, day and night. Complete your health.
Yeah, I got my mesh for Jack. I called my Walgreens because even though I bought the one from Amazon, I still want to try to get the bigger one because it's only $12.99. I wish I would have known that before. Because I'd rather have the bigger one. And it's so funny because when I called, is that somebody's radio or TV?
Yeah, probably mine.
Jeez, Pammy. So anyway, sorry. So when I called Walgreens, it was so funny because I asked the guy, I said, did you get the Jack skeleton dolls in yet? And he's like, oh. He goes, no, but we're gonna be getting them. You called last year, right? You wanted it for a wreath. I'm like, no, no. So somebody obviously called last year looking for it for a wreath. So I have some competition in the area, apparently. See, because I never really thought that many people in my area made wreaths because I never really have any trouble finding like the witch hats or, any of that stuff or mesh at my Dollar Tree. It's like, I've heard so many stories of people saying that, oh my God, I went and it was all gone. It was all sold out. And so, oh my God, I got to tell you another story. So the people upstairs just moved out. I live in the bottom half of a two-family house. And I don't usually like sharing a house. Sorry for my head. I didn't realize my head was in the way. Like this piece is coming off right here. I'm going to pull it off and then cut it. And then hopefully it won't fray anymore. But anyway, the only reason I chose this place is because it had a really nice backyard. It was at the end of a street. We're the last house on the street. We have an empty lot next to us. And anyway, so it was nice. It was quiet. It's quiet down here. But there was a young couple that moved in upstairs, and I guess the guy lost his job or something. I mean, they weren't up there for very long. They were up there maybe a few months, but so a new tenant moved in, or they're moving in this weekend, and it's a woman about my age and her son. And her son is my son's age, so that's kind of funny. But anyway, they were upstairs moving some stuff in the other day, yesterday, and I just walked up and introduced myself, and I told them what I did, that what I do for a living and that I work from home, and I also teach, wreath making classes. I have a couple of wreath groups, and the son just started laughing, and I'm like, what? And he said, that's all she likes to do is do crafts and make wreaths, and I almost died. So now I have somebody that I can craft with and go to the craft stores with. So of course I brought her down here and I showed her everything. My blurriness here. And I showed her everything, but it was just so funny. No, no, no. You can detect my camera. Don't give me that crap. There we go. So that was a funny story. And now I'm on to I have 2 more sections to go here. I'm hoping we're going to finish this tonight, 9:17. Stuff like this can be a little bit time consuming. You can probably do this with regular burlap too. You don't have to use the poly burlap if you don't like the fraying. But again, the fraying can be controlled. Just make sure when you're wrapping your pipe cleaner around that you're catching everything down there so it doesn't come apart on you. And you want an even amount of pipe cleaner on both sides and the back. So when you wrap it around your wreath frame, you have enough. Try to get it tight. Now, the second row that we're going to be putting on is actually going to be going down here. So this is really small in here, so it's not going to take as many petals. It's actually going to be attached to your canvas and to this inner bar here. So that's not going to take us as long as doing the outside. Or actually, it's the second bar. It's not, you're not using the outside bar. Sorry for my head. I'm trying to get you guys a better angle, and then my head keeps getting in the way. Okay, let's see. Hi, Cheryl. Mimi's here. Hi, Mimi. Again, I'm overlapping this one just a little bit over. I'm not going right to the edge because I want to make sure that the front looks nice and clean. So that's a little bit different than I started it, but only because I didn't like the way some of my petals were separating. So this way, if you have a little bit less, it's a little bit smaller underneath, you're going to get good coverage in the front. If that makes any sense. It's important that your petal look nice in the front. These are coming off. I'm going to pull that off now. This first one, just one twist, because you want to make sure you have enough pipe cleaner left to secure around either the top bar, or you can do the bar below it. One's going to go, I'm doing right now, I've decided I'm going to do one to the top bar, and then I'm going to do the other one to the bar below it. Three on this one. I think I gotta do one more. And if you have a bigger wreath form, you might have to put 5 petals per section. Just depends on the size of your wreath form. This is a 12-inch. You can use a 10-inch too.
What size was the squares?
10 by 10. And you got to make sure they're exactly 10 by 10 or your petals aren't going to look right.
All right, thank you.
Take your time cutting them. You're welcome. Again, always overlap the next one that you put on over the one before it. Yeah, I definitely should have, I mean, it's not bad. I'm not having horrible fraying, but I think next time I make one, because I want to do one in cranberry too, I'm going to roll some Mod Podge on the edges. Again, very important, if you're not using the wood burning tool, which I highly recommend to cut your poly burlap, do not use a rotary cutter, use scissors, and make sure you cut in between the lines. That's how you minimize fraying, you know, with mesh or poly burlap. Mesh, it's harder to do because the lines are closer together. When I am using mesh with jute in it, which is burlap running through poly deco mesh, which is this stuff. This is deco mesh with burlap running through it. You cannot cut that with the wood burning tool. I use my scissors and I cut between the lines, and it takes me forever, but I know it's going to minimize on my fraying. So I'm just crazy about fraying.
Where do you get the poly burlap?
Craft Outlet. You really can't find it in the stores. Craft Outlet, Trendy Tree, The Wreath Shop, all online stores. You can find it on Etsy sometimes. If I have a hard time finding something, if it's sold out everywhere, I always go to Etsy. Okay, last section here. I hate to pull these frays out. I think I'm just going to spray this, like I said, with a little bit of craft adhesive, and that'll keep it from fraying anymore. Once you get the hang of it, you know, just make sure your petal's kind of curled under like that. And again, make sure you catch enough of that so you're not going to lose your fold when you attach it to your wreath form. That one's done. I got one more section, and we can move on to the middle. Again, it isn't going to take us as long because it's this middle bar here next to the canvas, and it's a lot smaller, so. And again, you choose which wires you want to wrap your pipe cleaner around. But I would go up with one and down with the other one. This again is just going to add a little bit of stability so you don't lose, so your pedal doesn't move around as much. But once you get them all on, they're not going to move. Well, that one's like perfect. I wish they could have all come out like that. Am I blurry again? Oh no, I think I'm good. Pulling this piece out right now. Just make sure it's the shape that you want it in before you attach it. Do I look blurry to you guys? Do I need to fix that? I can't really tell.
I don't think you're blurry.
Thank you. One twist around the bar, the first bar, and then you secure your pipe cleaners. Because if you do too many twists that first time that you're attaching it, you're not going to have enough pipe cleaner left to secure it to your other two bars. You're not going to have a lot as it is, but you're going to have enough to wrap it around once or twice just to get it to stay in place. How pretty that is. I think I'm blue. I feel and that's better, see?
That flower is beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Jamie, you're so nice.
I'm just sitting here watching it, and I was over there playing around with the grip liner, and it's like I need to get a smaller frame, I think.
Go to Dollar General. You can get the 12-inch at Dollar General. They're $1.50.
I have not seen them at my Dollar General yet.
You what?
I don't see them at my Dollar General yet.
They don't carry wreath frames?
I have not seen them.
Hmm.
I usually go to Pat Catan's. I was going to go today after work, but I cleaned 2 houses today, and I was exhausted.
I wish I had a Pat Catan's. That's where you have a Pat Catan's, Pammy, right? I wish I had one.
Yeah, we do. The only thing I don't have is, what do you say AC Moore? We don't have those.
Yeah, I wish we had an AC Moore. I got to tell you though, I usually am not a really big fan of Michael's, but when I went the last time, they had so much cute Halloween stuff and fall stuff, and they had really good sales too. In fact, have you been to Michael's recently, Pam?
Yep, I was there last week.
Did you see the cute Halloween picks and stuff? And they had some that would go perfectly with the jack wreath. Did you see those?
Yeah. I'm still trying to chase down those orange and black pumpkins, and somebody had silver and black pumpkins. They said Hobby Lobby. I went all over Hobby Lobby today. They don't have them. I don't know where they came from.
Look how cute. That was from Michael's.
That Michael's. Oh, then I got to go back to Michael's.
And then these.
Then mine didn't have them, although there were empty bins.
Look how cute.
Those are stinking cute.
And then I got these.
I have those. I got those.
And I got these for the candy corn wreath. Cute. And I love these. I'm going to use these somewhere. I don't know where yet. The Halloween ornaments.
I bought some of those last year on clearance.
Yep.
I love those black and white pumpkins, Christine.
I know.
Gotta get
So
mine.
that's where they came from.
Those
I
are
didn't
wonderful.
see them when I was there.
No. Aw. All right, one more. Do I have one more? Yep. And then we're going to go to the inside. See, what I'm doing, I don't know if you can do this, but I'm actually holding the end with one hand and I'm pinching it with my other hand. Just because I want my petal to be nice and even on the top. Whatever method works for you. Again, you know, you want to use something stiff. I mean, you probably can use mesh for this, but I don't know if you're going to get the same look because the poly burlap is pretty stiff. Now, you can use regular burlap, or like I told Jamie, Mod Podge stiffens everything. And all you really need to do is roll it on the edges, and that'll stiffen it enough so it'll hold its shape. So here's my last one. I'm going in here. My last one on this outside row. Make sure my head's not covering the camera. I get so focused on what I'm doing, I'm like, wait a second. Just trying to wrap this last piece around here. Okay. Minimal fraying, not too bad. I'm going to go around and spray it when I'm done. But there's the outside. Pretty. Drink water.
Looks great. Looks really nice and neat.
Who's that? Is that Cheryl?
Cheryl. Yep.
Thanks,
Yep.
Cheryl. Thank you, Cheryl.
You're
Okay.
welcome.
I know. I don't know. You sounded different all of a sudden. That's like, who's that? Okay. So I've got a few pieces coming out. I'm going to just maybe pull one or two. I don't want to go too crazy because I'm going to spray it when I'm done. Okay. So I haven't even used one whole roll yet. So we may have to use a little bit more than one roll. If you had a 10-inch frame, you definitely would only need one roll. Okay, so now what we're going to do is continue making our petals. Again, when I first started, I was lining it up exactly. If you missed that part, I was lining it up exactly, but I was finding that it made it a little bit neater to just kind of overlap it a little bit. So your top fold is kind of going over your bottom fold just a little. I think, like I said, 4 pinches is a good, I don't have 4 pinches on all of them, but 4 good pinches is good to get the size petal. There's another piece. Get that out of there. Now, what we're going to do for this row, it's going to go on the inside bar. I don't really like this piece that much because it's got some fraying on it, but yeah, I'm not using that one. That one went bye-bye. It did not have potential here. Let's do this one instead. I could just see that one fraying more, so I got rid of it. Yeah, this one too, that one's got like a weird edge on it. I'm sorry. I'm too fussy. This one looks good. Like, you know when you have a couple of pieces that come off and your edge is not really clean? I didn't like that. Let's try this one. We have a lot of people here tonight. Vanya just popped on. Hi, Vanya. Emily's here. Everybody's kind of jumping on. Okay, so this second row, you're going to actually take one of your ends of your pipe cleaner and you're going to go through the plastic canvas. So get right up close to your bar here, your inner bar. One of the pipe cleaners is going to go through a hole in the canvas. The other one's going to get wrapped around the inner bar, this inside bar. So just go ahead and get close to the edge of your section. You're probably only going to be able to fit, oops, like maybe 2 or 3 per section. I don't know yet. So let's go ahead and start. But get close to the edge of your crossbar here, which is right here, if you could see that. Just put one through the hole in your canvas and one around the bar. And this one, you're not really going to have to wrap your pieces around anything, because the minute you put it through that canvas, it's going to hold it in place. It's not going to go anywhere because it's through the hole in the canvas. So you can just sort of like push that down and get it out of the way for now. No, don't come off. No phrase. So it's going to be kind of sticking out over your canvas a little bit. But my hair looks really bad tonight. All right, no, don't tell me that. Hold on, don't tell me you can't find my camera. I don't want to hear that, because that's a lie. Okay, so it's going to be kind of sticking out over your canvas a little bit. That's fine. I think we're probably going to have maybe 3 per section on the inside. I got to see. So here's my pipe cleaners. I think I'm going to be able to do 3 per section on the inside. I lost all my pipe cleaners. Get your petal the shape that you want it before you stick it on there. So we're doing 3. That's going to work. You can cut these off after. You can see how that's going to be covering all these pieces here, and then your center is going to cover these. So let's go to the next section here. And overlapping this next piece over the previous one that you put on. Now, I'm going to be going to my second roll in a minute here. So I would say you're probably going to use like a roll and a few pieces. I did toss a couple to the side that were annoying me. So like 3, I think 3 or 4 I tossed to the side because they were fraying. This one has a fray. $9:45, but I'm not going to stop, ladies. I want to get this done. It's not going to take us that long to do the middle, or me anyway, because the middle was smaller. Pick up my pipe cleaners here that fell all over the place. And where's my other roll? You know, I find that, like, look how clean this piece is. This is like from the outside of the roll. It seems like I noticed that the outside pieces are always a lot neater than the inside. I don't know why that is. As you get toward the inside of the roll, like, look how perfect this piece is. There's no fraying. Look at that. For some reason, when you get toward the inside of the roll, they're just not as clean, and I don't know why that is. So if you don't want to use those inside pieces, just toss them aside, because for some reason they're just not as clean. This is Does that make sense? I don't know why that is.
It does. I find that the same way with mesh too.
Yeah. It's just like it's the inside pieces are just. Now I'm not actually going to be able to do 3 per section because I'm getting to my second section. I only have 2, and I'm getting close to the 3rd section here. So, you know, don't even really focus when you're doing the inside. Don't even really focus on how many you're doing per section. Just try to get them evenly spaced apart. Let's put it that way, because it's not really working out doing 3 per section on the inside. Right now, this piece is going like right over the crossbar. But if I tried to squish one in, another one in there, it wouldn't look right. So right now at this point, I'm just trying to get them evenly spaced together, and I think that'll work. So and these pieces on the outside are a lot cleaner. I got one coming off here. I'm going to spray this when I'm done.
Hey, Christina, I have to go.
Okay, honey, it's getting late.
No, it's my dog got sprayed by a skunk.
Oh no!
On the 19th, and she will not go to the potty outside without me going out there with her on a leash. She's just like paranoid about it, so I have to take her out. So
yeah, I would be too. Okay, my dear.
all right. Well, thank you very much. I look forward to getting the video. Will you let us know how many you put on the inside?
Yeah, I'll count them. Yep.
All right. Thank you. Have a good.
You're going to use a Dollar Tree frame though, right or no?
Yes, probably.
So mine's a 12-inch, so it's probably not going to be the same.
Well, you know what? Just let me know how much it is because I'll go to Packettans and get a 12 then.
Okay. All right, honey.
All right. Thank you. Good night.
Good night. I'm just sort of like eyeballing it at this point with the inside.
Christina,
Yes, Mimi.
that's looking good,
Thank you, my dear.
but I'm sleepy.
Good night, Mimi. I love you.
Good night.
I'm sleepy too. Actually, I'm not that sleepy because I had that drink, but I won't even ever mention that I drank again because I know it's bad for you and I shouldn't have drank it. Now I feel bad. Boy, that it gave me some good energy, I'll tell you that right now. It didn't taste bad either. All right, guys. I don't know why my camera keeps getting blurry. This is why it's important that your pieces are exactly 10 by 10 because if you don't get them exactly 10 by 10, your petal's not going to look right. The woman that came up with this design is Trish from Dean Michael Designs. And she did have this video posted on YouTube. She also did a chrysanthemum using poly burlap, and it's absolutely beautiful. Really, really pretty. I gotta show you guys how my center is gonna go in. So I need to get this finished. And I appreciate you hanging out with me. Sometimes some of these projects take a little bit longer than your typical wreath, but you know, that's why I like to do different things in my classes. You know, a lot of other paid groups, they just do the same types of wreaths over and over again. I like to experiment with different things, with different materials and different designs. Like we're doing the fabric covered pumpkins. I mean, that's not a wreath, but I thought they would be really fun to do with that perfect petal. How come they all come out like that? So again, like right now, I had intended to use 3 per section, but right now I'm just kind of eyeballing it and just spacing them apart based on how I think they look. Just so they're overlapping each other adequately. Somebody's chatting me here, and I think I'm blurry again too. Oh, thank you, Katrina. Katrina says this is beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, I want to buy some of the cranberry colored mesh too, or the poly burlap, because that's a really pretty color for fall. I think I'm going to have enough orange pipe cleaners. Yay. And you're just going through the hole that's closest to the edge of the canvas and then going right up around that first bar. You're not going to have to worry about anchoring your pipe cleaners like we did at the top, because once you stick it through that canvas, it's not going anywhere. No, no more phrase.
Christina, I will send you a picture of the fall colored wreath that I found. In this design, they used red, yellow, orange, and brown.
Who did?
I not believe it's in with the picture.
This,
Like
the designer of this style wreath did it in those colors?
I can't remember.
Okay.
I'll send it to you, but I liked it for the color scheme. But it's
Yeah.
the same concept,
Yeah.
just a different color scheme.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
And it is like, I guess, turkey colors.
Oh, pretty. Well, the flower that we're going to do next week is going to be, I think I chose a burgundy gold mesh, a two-tone mesh, and a burgundy for the center. So I can't wait to do that one. Now this one's all off, so I have to redo it again. Like I said, it's more important that the front of your petal look better than the back. So as long as you have it looking nice in the front, the back doesn't really matter. That's why you want to try to shape it as good as you can before you get it on there. And if you find that it keeps doing that and it's not lining up, it's because your piece isn't cut exactly at 10 by 10, so you toss it to the side like I just did. So I'm sick of trying to redo it, and you just grab a new piece. Or you're going to drive yourself crazy. You grab a new piece, and that looks nice, and everybody's happy. Even when I was using the wood burning tool, I may have been going a little bit fast, and it wasn't exactly a 10 by 10 piece, and it's important. There's another piece coming off, and I don't want to pull it, but it's driving me crazy. I'm going to spray it when I'm done. Where are we now? We don't have much more to go here, guys. I know this has kind of been a long class. You know what, don't kill yourself trying to get perfection. If your petals aren't totally lined up, you know, it is what it is. Little fishy cracker, that's what it looks like. I think maybe 2 more, and then I'm going to be done. And then I'll show you how I did my center, or how I'm going to do my center. If you got one of the pre-made centers, I think I posted a link from Trendy Tree, all you have to basically do with those is attach pipe cleaners to the bottom. You can glue it on, or you can use floral wire to attach it. And then you just go right through the canvas with it and attach it. What I am going to do is, and I will show you, I'm going to want 1 more or 2 more. I think I'm going to try to fit 2 more in here. Again, there's many options for centers. Look up Julie's Wreath Boutique. She's got a lot of different options for flower centers because she does a lot of flowers. I think I'm going to put 1 more on, and then I'm going to be done. See, some of my petals on the outside aren't totally lined up. They're a little off. But you know what? It makes it look rustic. I still think it looks pretty. Again, don't kill yourself trying to get each petal perfect. Like that one, which I wish they could all come out that way, but they're not gonna. So again, use the wood burning tool. If you don't have a wood burning tool, don't use a rotary cutter to cut poly burlap. It's just going to make you cry. Get some scissors, cut in between the lines. And it's easy to do because poly burlap has got big lines. They're far apart. So it's easy to do. Here's my last one. Dawn wanted, not Dawn, Jamie wanted me to count how many petals I had on the inside. So I'm going to count for her. Yay, I'm so happy we got it done, and it's 10:01. Yay! Look at that. Woo, look how pretty. Isn't that pretty? Oh my God, I love that.
That turned out great. I just loved that, how it turned out.
Thank you. let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 on the inside. I don't know how many are on the outside, but let me see. I'm not going to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sections, and I had 4 per section. So what is that? 24? No? Yes? I'm so bad at math. Okay. So what I'm going to do, where's my center? Now, if you're going to make a center like this, like I did, the seated, it's called like the seated center, you have to attach it, and it's really easy to do. You just take your jute, and I put the video on the page. You wrap it around your hand, your jute or your deco mesh tubing. You wrap it around your hand, you gather it in the middle, and then you just take a zip tie and you attach it through. But watch the video. But you're not going to be able to attach it to this one. This is why you need 2 pieces of plastic canvas. So what you're basically going to do, and I feel like it's not going to cover completely. I still have a little bit of, see, but I ran out of my jute tubing. No, I didn't have enough. And I feel like it's not going to, I'm going to have a little bit of a gap here in the middle, right here. But I'm not going to worry about that. That's okay. This was 30 yards of jute tubing. So, but what I mean by a little bit of a gap here, it's not going to really, I would have really wanted to have covered all of that. But there's going to be a little tiny bit of a gap. Not bad. I'm not going to kill myself over that. I'm not going to make myself feel bad over that. And maybe I'll just fluff my burlap petals up a little bit, or just to cover that.
Hey, Christina, take your seeding thing and like pull the seeds outward, you know, towards the outside, and maybe pull.
I don't know if I can. Let me see.
Yeah.
Because
that way you kind of flatten it out a little bit.
I actually had to cut some of this off because there was some showing. I think I just needed to get more jute tubing. I thought for sure that 30 feet would be enough. It's going to be fine. I'll fix it. If I have to fluff up these pieces a little bit like that, see, to cover up that that little bit of a gap. But maybe if I press it down, it won't be so bad. All right, now what I'm going to have to do, let me get some zip ties here. I'm going to zip tie this. I need some, just the orange ones here. Do I have orange? Yeah. Orange or pink, whatever color this is. I don't even know what that is. But this is a copper color jute tubing from Craft Outlet. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some zip ties, go around the edges. I think I'm probably just going to need 2. If I had had enough of the tubing, I could have gone all the way to the edge, because this circle was the same size as this circle. But I didn't have enough to go all the way to the edge, so I cut some of the excess off. So I thought for sure 30 feet would be enough. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to go through. Let's see here. I might have to do it this way instead. I may have to go underneath and grab it this way. We're almost done, you guys.
Chris, you're fuzzy.
I'm fuzzy?
Oh,
No,
there,
no, I'm okay. So I'm going to grab it this way from underneath. You can see that. I just went underneath with my zip tie, and I'm going to grab the edge of my canvas that my center is on and go back right down through the bar here, if I can see. There's so much of this poly burlap here, but I can find a space here. Go right back down through around the wire. And you're only going to need a couple of zip ties to hold this in place, but it's not heavy. I got this pulled through. I don't want to lose it. There we go.
Hey, Christina, this is Cheryl.
Hi, Cheryl.
And my dogs are already in my bed, so I'm going to go follow them.
Okay, my dear.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
There's one side on. Let me get the other side on now. And then we'll be done. So I can't believe 30 feet was not enough. Next time I'll know. But I'm gonna fix that. I won't have a gap. I might even add more poly burlap. I might find a way to stick some more petals in there to fill up the gaps. And there's a will, there's a way. It's stuck here. Hold on. Uh-oh, I pulled it through the wrong hole. Hold on a minute here. Just happened. We're almost done. Don't know why this is. I think I might have pulled the other side too tight. Hold on a second, you guys. Don't leave yet. Until I get this attached. I'm gonna do this. Hold on. I think it would be easier. I need to get a longer zip tie. I think that's the problem. Hold on a minute here. Let me grab a longer zip tie. That one's too short. Get a nice long one. There we go. Yay, that's all I needed was a longer zip tie. Oh, you know what? It's crooked. I have it pulled too far over onto the side, but I'm going to fix it. But I'm going to let you guys go. I think I knew that was the problem. I pulled it over too tight onto the side, so I have a little bit of a gap here. But let me let you guys go, and I'm going to fix this. I won't keep you watching me any longer. And video is going to be ready tomorrow. And it's going to be set with one click of a button, which is so awesome now that I can do that. I love that I've been able to do that now. But I'm going to fix my center so it's not crooked, and then I'll post a picture.
That's pretty, Christina.
Colors are gorgeous.
I know. I love the color in the center, but I got to fix that.
I do too. I love it.
Thank you.
Where are you getting your poly burlap, Christina?
This I got from Craft Outlet. You can get it from the Reef shop too. I'm not sure if they have any more of the orange in stock. Check Etsy too.
Okay.
All right, let me fix my center, you guys, so I can take a picture. Good night, everybody. Love you.
Good night.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Night.
Bye-bye.